everyone, coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report. As you see right here, Randy Orton. Randy Orton, the man of the hour. Not like those little celebrity roasts, but we call it WWE's version roast. Randy Orton celebrating 20 years in WWE. And what a 20 years. Have me watching Randy Orton for 20 years. Been seeing him develop, grow, as the star he is and a well respected gentleman. Randy Orton getting his flowers, why he is and why he can. We're going to celebrate 20 years of Randy Orton. That's coming up. Plus, too, a lot of surprises and returns. Oscar returns. Who is Oscar targeting? Well, you won't believe who she's targeting. As well as Mustafa Ali. Remember Mustafa Ali? He said he wanted to be granted his release from WWE last year. Well, Ali and Oscar make their returns, and they make their grand returns in grand fashion. Also, too, a Raw Women's Championship match is on the line as Bianca Belair defends her championship against Sonya Deville. Is this Sonya? Can Sonya Deville become the Raw Women's Champion and an authority figure at the same time? Time will tell. Plus, two big time Bix. Becky Lynch returns since losing the Raw Women's Championship to Bianca Belair. We'll get to that and what Becky Lynch's agenda going forward, as well as Bobby Lashley and Almost with this collision course heading towards we head towards WrestleMania Backlash. All this and more when the WWE Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report, and it starts right now. Hello, everyone. This is Kendra Diggs here. Thank you for joining us here on the Raw Ring Report. Like I said, thank you all. You can be anywhere else, but you chose to watch us here on Connect TV. We thank you here on YouTube. So first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling Show here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here. We got a lot to get to. We're gonna start off. We're gonna kick things off with Randy Orton. Randy Orton celebrating 20 years in WWE. Randy Orton has done it all. Became WWE champion, world heavyweight champion, and Randy Orton getting his flowers as is rightfully he deserves. Orton being celebrated by the Raw superstars that came out, including Cody Rhodes. Him and Orton has a history. Remember when Cody and Randy Orton formed Legacy? That tandem with Ted DiBiase as well. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes never forgot that kinship they had with their legacies. Randy, a third generation star, as well as Cody, a second generation star. Who can forget about that? Well, the Usos came and crashed the party as Red Arcade Bro, Cody, and Ezekiel, who was trying to dress like the Ultimate Warrior with tassels, tried to celebrate Randy Orton until Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, came out there to interrupt. They put out the gauntlet, and it was going to happen. A huge eight-man tag team match. Raw Tag Team Champions, Red Arcade Bro, teams up with Raw's newest rising star, Cody Rhodes, and Ezekiel, who's Elias's brother, take on the team of Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. The Usos looking forward to this match. We'll get to that later on. What had happened in the coming minutes. Was the Raw Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair defending her Raw Women's Championship against the number one contender who put herself automatically in the match, Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville trying to play mind games after losing each attempt and making matches as she go. Sonya Deville didn't see the daylight come for the shoot no shine for her. And Sonya Deville lost to Bianca Belair. And Bianca Belair retained her Raw Women's Championship. Bianca in grand style, winning and retaining the Raw Women's Championship. I believe this feud is far from over, if you ask me, going forward. But we'll see heading towards what's going to happen with Bianca and Sonya Deville. Speaking of that, speaking of women, well, Sonya Deville started blaming Zelina Vega and Carmella that they couldn't get the job done, and it was promised to get their women's tag team championship opportunity. But Sonya Deville changed her mind, reneged it, and said, "You're never gonna get a women's championship tag team championship match until I be women's champion." Well, I guess you're just gonna keep hoping and wishing. That's what it's gonna seem like for you. Well, we move on to another one. The man, big time Becky Lynch, came out there on Raw. She looked like she was just empty inside. While her Raw Women's Championship, after losing it to Bianca, Becky seemed like a shell of herself. Becky Lynch set to address the crowd on what she went through and what she was going through. Becky Lynch didn't even bother until the returning Oscar. Oscar returned. Oscar returned since last summer. Oscar upstage and Becky Lynch. Who can forget these two had their classic feuds going forward? Who can forget the Royal Rumble 2019 when Oscar defeated Becky Lynch and put Becky Lynch in place? Oscar got a round of applause, rightfully so for Oscar. Oscar winning, Oscar winning the Royal Rumble, becoming a SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion, and Oscar returns back to confront big time Bex. And these two women will meet somewhat down the road. You can tell that Becky Lynch didn't feel like she didn't want to be upstaged by Oscar. And Becky Lynch didn't. Becky Lynch moved out way. And we're gonna see this feud some way, somehow coming in the weeks. Speaking of that, well, we know that Austin Theory is the new United States champion. Austin Theory even making tweets, even John Cena getting involved, and they're claiming that Austin Theory could be the next John Cena. In a way, you might be right. Well, Theory tried with on Men's TV and got interrupted by the returning Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali, who has been in WWE since a year or two. A lot of returns coming on. Even Ali wanted to be he wanted his release granted due to creative differences. Well, this is Ali's moment to shine with the creative differences, and he turned his attention to the Miz and Austin Theory that he wants a time match some way somehow. Well, he went against the Miz. Mustafa Ali won the match, but at the end, Ali got attacked by Ciampa. What does this mean for Ciampa attacking Ali going forward? I mean, Ali's coming back and he gets attacked by Ciampa. And I guess Ciampa got some axes to grind some way, somehow. We'll see on that. Plus two, Veer Mahan returns. Veer Mahan beat another jobber, as he normally do, beats a jobber and job that jobber out. So I guess that was kind of it on that. With him beating up a jobber. Plus two, Damian Priest was in action. Damian Priest, who's siding with Edge, but they call themselves Judgment Day. You kind of thought Real Ripley was going to get involved and be involved in the group. You never knows. They came out there, and a mysterious entrance was super mysterious. I didn't. It was so mysterious. I couldn't even tell the difference. But Damian Priest was in action. He took on Finn Balor, the man who took his United States Championship away from him. And Damian Priest claims that Finn Balor was the one that he went through a downward spiral the way he did. So Damian Priest, I don't know what this motivation, momentum. A lot of people want AJ Styles and Finn Balor to team up against Damian Priest and Edge. It could be a possibility down the road. We'll see. Speaking of that, the Arm Wrestling Challenge. Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, takes on almost an MVP. I don't know what happened. I think almost may have won, or Bobby Lashley may have won. But you gotta look back at the raw footage of Raw. Well, we know that Almost has challenged Bobby Lashley to a rematch from WrestleMania. And at WrestleMania Backlash, these two behemoths will meet again one on one. What now? This time with the MVP factor in it. What MVP going to do? We'll see, because we know that this match happened without MVP at WrestleMania. Now we finally get it one on one with MVP at ringside. So what factor MVP is going to play in the match? So only time will tell on that. So we'll see. Plus, two, Kane was in town. As him being the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee, to wish the champ, wish Bianca Belair luck, and Bianca Belair needed that luck, and she won. So hey, move it in. Well, we tell you right here that a lot of surprising names was coming. Even Sean Ross Sapp, you made that surprise name. So a lot of things was going down on WWE on the Raw side of things. Um, Randy Orton celebrating 20 years in WWE. Randy Orton started in 2002, 20 years ago on SmackDown, and 20 years later on Raw, he gets celebrated for his contributions to the WWE. And we at the Pro Wrestling Show can celebrate Randy Orton's contributions to wrestling for nearly being a 14-time world champion and making it. So Randy Orton deserves an honorable respect. Even he was the Viper, the Legend Killer, of the Apex Predator. Randy Orton was on the roll, and he's still on the roll to this day. He's still in his prime. He's still in his 40s. So he still got enough left in the tank. So you never know. He could have enough left in the tank in a couple of weeks. He could be a double tag team champion if he has his way, leaving WrestleMania Backlash, unifying the tag team championships. That could be the possibility for Randall Keith Orton. Well, there was the huge. Well, before that, the wedding situation. Tamina, the security out. They got the win over Dana Brooke and Reggie. Yeah, we talked about Bobby Lashley winning the Arm Wrestling Challenge. So, hey, Bobby Lashley won, setting up a match between him and Almost at WrestleMania Backlash. Now we get to the huge 8-man tag team match. It's Radar Arcade Bro, Raw Tag Team Champions, team up against Cody Rhodes and Ezekiel to take on Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Raw's Guest of the Hour, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, who could be the Raw Tag Team Champions if they have their way at WrestleMania Backlash. Well, you see right here, Randy Orton get the win with his team, Cody, the Legacy Reunion, Great Arcade Bro with Riddle and Ezekiel getting the win. Randy Orton closed the show, closed the night, him winning on top. And Randy Orton does it again. Could he be a double champion? Only time will tell. We'll only say to see. All right, that ends the Raw Ring Report. We're gonna move quickly to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics this week, we talk about Randy Orton, you know, his 20-year career. Randy Orton has done it all in the WWE, winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Championship, becoming a undisputed champion. So Randy Orton has done it. So we wish Randy Orton the best. Even Triple H even chimed in saying Randy Orton had a career that many people never does have, but he has done it. A top-notch performer, which Randy Orton is, and he is that. Plus, two, we found out at WrestleMania Backlash that Madcap Moss would take on Baron Corbin one-on-one, Happy Corbin, in a match. So Madcap Moss will take on Happy Corbin one-on-one. So we'll see that. Also, too, the NWA wanted to give its champion, Zack Ryder, his own pay-per-view. And the pay-per-view will be called Always Ready. Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona will get his own pay-per-view coming up. Always Ready. This is the match I'm looking forward to see this Wednesday night on Dynamite. Yeah, FTR in the Owen Hart Cup finals tournament. So you'll see FTR competing one on one against each other for just just to fill each other out and just see where they stand, and who, the better man will win. So we'll see. They're not like the laughing stock they once was when they were saying that WWE wanted them back and they was interested. FTR saying shut down reports that that's not going to happen. So you forget about that and thank God. Speaking of that, AEW star 10 revealed that when he was a kid he had Crohn's disease. 10 said he fought through it, and look at him now. He's bigger, badder, and better. So 10 overcame the odds and what he had done. Also, too, Impact Wrestling had their Rebellion pay per view, and they had Josh Alexander wins its Impact title with a long rivalry with Muse. Want to see that match, but hey, I'll let it go. Just word of mouth from Impact Wrestling. So time will tell. Plus, two, this Wednesday night, Warlow against Lance Archer. We'll see these two horses get in the ring and beat each other up. MJF keeps shelling money to send someone to destroy Warlow, but it eventually don't work. So we'll see this Wednesday night on TNT what's gonna go down. Plus, dude, the Sandman returns to MLW. Sandman, ECW legend. He used to be in MLW way back when ECW got closed. Now, Sandman coming back into town to do some damage on somebody coming soon and coming shortly. Also, too, AEW doing a fundraiser, taco night fundraiser, and you know how that go. But like I said, we're talking about it. The returns of Oscar and Ali returning back to the Red brand. So we got a good glimpse of what's going to happen on Raw going forward and celebrating Randy Orton's 20th year in the WWE. So we're going to leave it with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes hugging each other out. The legacy reunion that we never thought we would see. Thank you all for watching this edition of Pro Wrestling Show. For me being Kendrick Dixon, so long. We'll see you tomorrow for the NXT Bring Report. See you later.